Hi, I'm Tyler Kettle, and this is another reading of In Space, No One Can Hear You Clean. So at this point, things are getting a little tense. We're just going to get into it. My vision was getting less blurry, and my mind less cloudy, thus that I was able to look around me. It was a large room in comparison to the other parts of the ship. Large boxes and pallets filled with extra supplies were secured throughout the storage area. A large rocket-shaped machine with multiple cables connected to it was in the middle of the room. Steering wheel and the tablet were installed on top of it. Looking at it, I could see the device was aimed at the thick, clear glass door in the wall. Through it, I saw the bright yellow supernova. So this is this thing that has caused so much trouble. Do you think it's aware of that? Steve brought me closer as I remember seeing the machine at different stages. I recall seeing Luke and Kate working on it whenever I came into the storage area. They never told me anything about it. But I know that this device is what we're supposed to send into the corrupted supernova. It's like our MacGuffin, except this is real life. As I was pulled closer, I could see the tablet screen said no operating system. Aren't you going to tell me what you need me to do? I asked as I noticed my spacesuit was hanging on the wall nearby, which is not where I left it. Ignoring my question, Steve tossed me against the machine and grabbed the spacesuit from the wall. Put this on. You're going for a ride. Steve shoved the suit into my hands. A ride? Where? I asked. There. Steve pointed at Supernova. These idiots can't figure out a basic navigation system. Steve yelled at Luke and Kate, who both looked away. So you get to drive this into Supernova. Now, chop chop. Can't have any of the other crews sleeping this accomplishment out of our hands, Steve said. Looked down at the suit in my hands. What if I say no? I asked this way. Mind and body began to feel like normal again. If you don't, Steve leaned down to me. I'll have your friend killed. Smiled broadly. What? You don't think I knew that you were friends with a robot? By the way, what kind of lonely weirdo is friends with a robot? Steve narrowed his eyes at me. He's a better friend than any of you. And I might be a weirdo as you call me, but at least I'm not a fucking coward. I met Steve's gaze. What did you say? Steve grabbing by the collar. Do you have hearing problems? I said. I said what I said. I answered as I could see Steve raising the taser. I worried myself for another shock. Steve, if I may, Luke interjected. What? Steve looked back at Luke, lowering the taser. The rulebook does say, in Chapter 11, Section 12, Paragraph 9, get to the point, Steve cut him off, that any heroic sacrifice should be done by someone who is willing, Luke said, still holding on to Marcus. I think willing is the optimal word here, Steve. Kay added. Steve stepped away from me. Do one of you want to volunteer? He stared between Luke and Kate. Luke looked away. No, I think we should let another crew do it, Kate said. That's not happening. It's right there, the end of the mission. Don't you want to be known as the people who save the world? And the fame that comes along with it? Kids will do projects about you. Famous people play in movies. And everyone will know who you are. Don't you want that? Steve looked between Luke and Kate. Not like this, Luke softly said, barely meeting Steve's eyes. Steve went quiet for a moment. Fuck it. I'm the captain and we're doing this. Both of you better not get in my way. He directed his attention back at me. Get that fucking suit on or I'll kill your friend. Steve moved over to Marcus. Looked at the suit in my hands, staying quiet. Moving Matt. Steve pressed a button on the back of Marcus's neck and various metallic plates moved aside, revealing network of cables, hard drives, and metal joints. At the center of it, there was a shining cube. It reminded me of a heart. Why aren't you doing anything? Steve grabbed the cube and started to pull it out. Fine, fine, stop. Quickly, I put the suit on under the eyes of Steve's angry and hateful eyes. Matt, you don't need to do this. I'm just a robot, Marcus said. It's okay, Marcus. I pulled my arms through the suit and zipped out the front. It was only when I was putting on the helmet that I noticed that Steve had slotted the cube back into Marcus and pressed the button, thus sealing him up. All suited up, I rose to my feet. Fear had heavily coated my mind at this point. My legs had even started to shake a little. Get on the machine, Steve ordered, and I did as he ordered. I sat there, the gravity of the situation resting heavily on me. Can we talk about this? I asked. Anxiety and fear lending themselves to my voice. Never talk. Steve took out two pairs of handcuffs from his pocket and used them to bind my hands to the wheel. Matt, Captain Steve, please, we should talk about this more. Marcus interjected as Luke and Kate looked on with motionless faces. I said no more. Jesus, lock that robot or something, Captain Steve ordered. He began to pull the cables of the machine and press various types of buttons on it. As he did these things, he didn't notice that neither Luke and Kate were following his instructions. Beneath me, I could feel heat emanating from the device, along with a low, engine-like sound becoming louder. It wasn't long before the noise was starting to get deafening. I felt like it was seconds away. Almost time, hombre, Steve yelled as he pressed the button on the wall and opened the glass sliding door. Now remember, steer it into the supernova, which shouldn't be hard, even for someone like you. But if you fuck up, I will kill Marcus, Steve softly said in my ear. I'm really nodded as I looked ahead of me. I didn't want to die. Can't say that enough. I mean, there was a point where, not that long ago, where I did want to die. Now I really, really, really wanted to live, but now it's me being me to die. How's that fair? 3, 2, 1. Steve pressed the button. I managed one last look at Marcus. I saw that he had slipped out of Luke Kate's grasp. That's all I saw before the machine flew through the open glass door and into space. Flying towards the supernova, I knew that if I didn't have that much time, I wish for Roxanne to appear. I wouldn't have cared if she wasn't real. I just wanted to see her. Tried to think through all this. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder. Hey, partner, Marcus said. What are you doing here? I stared at him. We don't have a lot of time. Marcus moved alongside me and started to play around the handcuffs. What are you doing? I asked as Marcus pulled on the handcuffs chain. I'm going to save you. Marcus broke the chain, releasing one of my hands. No, Marcus, you can't. I tried to push his hand away from the last handcuff. No, man, I want to. Marcus slipped his hand around mine and grabbed the restraint chain. Why? I asked. Because back there, Marcus nodded towards the ship we had just left. They'll destroy me. And yeah, this way, I won't make it out either, but at least I go out on my terms. Yeah, at least I'll save my friend. Marcus broke the chain, put his hands on my chest as the supernova was getting closer. I tried to think of ways to stop him, any way that I could think of, but I couldn't. You gotta go. Marcus pushed harder and I started leaning back off the machine. Marcus, out there I might not survive, I said. You won't live here either. Out there, you have a chance. Marcus told me as the supernova was within range. Marcus, you're a good friend. Dare I say, you were my best friend. I stared at him. As were you, but it's time for you to go. Marcus pushed me and drifted into the darkness of space. I watched as the machine sailed away into distance before it disappeared completely into supernova. I wanted to feel some sadness at that moment. I wanted to search myself and bring out any tears I might find. But nothing came, because the sheer terror of being abandoned in space found me. I was alone, driftless within space. I might have been alive, but at what cost? I looked around, searching for anything that could save me. Couldn't find anything, so I leaned back, gave in, and wondered what would kill me first. Starvation? The cold space? A rip in a spacesuit? I was petrified. Then I saw it. At first, it was this small dot ahead of me. It didn't look like a star or a planet. As it got closer, I saw that it looked man-made. It looked like a ship. Happiness flowed through me. I started waving my arms as fast as I could in space. The ship got closer and closer, and then it stopped before me. For a time, I just waited there. Then a pair of astronauts exited the ship, attached to long ropes that came before me, and one of them grabbed me. Are you alive? The astronaut asked me. Yeah. Took a breath, feeling relief. Just take me home, of course. The astronaut rested his hand on my shoulder before him and the other person brought me to their ship. I was going home. I was alive. Is this what true happiness feels like? I really have no idea. Generally asking